Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do this follow-up video to the announcement or the update that I made this morning on the new network pass, which last year was T-Mobile's network drive test that's now been integrated into the T-Mobile app. And I made that video a bit prematurely because T-Mobile did end up releasing a press release shortly after. So I wanted to talk about that a little, and then I wanted to give some more clarity on what's happening at T-Mobile and why they are doing it and what I'm hearing. So this video may be a bit longer, but I hope I can get some clarity to the situation. So I'll piece this together as much as I can. I'll try to keep it not too long, but if it does go a bit longer, there'll be a lot of information in this video, a lot of info, a lot of tidbits. So make sure you guys stay tuned to this one. So the first part, T-Mobile takes hassle and worry out of switching. So T-Mobile is trying to be innovative around switching. Not only are they trying to push the eSIM, and because nobody else is doing that, right? Verizon, AT&T, they're not offering an eSIM test drive. They're not doing it. Now, yes, you can activate an eSIM on the iPhone with AT&T and Verizon, but they don't do any test drives. Could that change in the future? Perhaps. That could definitely change in the future. But for now, T-Mobile is the only one that's trying to innovate around using the eSIM. So they're trying to take the hassle out of switching because it does become a hassle. And sometimes it generates a lot of frustration for the consumer, the customer. And if I remember correctly, Sprint was also a company that was trying to innovate around that. Make it a 15 to 20 minute process in and out, not much longer. The last time I was at a Verizon store switching, it took me about 2.5 hours. And in the case of you having maybe 5-6 lines and everybody lives in a different household, you got to pick a certain day, you got to get everybody there. It's just a hassle. So T-Mobile is trying to innovate around that because the hassle is embedded in the consumer's mind because likely they've done it before, and T-Mobile's trying to innovate around that. So they did extend the period of the test drive, right? It went from 90 days, well, it went from 30 days to 90 days. So that's good too. So T-Mobile is gonna allow you to live your day-to-day life with T-Mobile for free, no strings attached, with whoever your carrier is now, whether that be AT&T, Verizon, heck, even probably Xfinity, Spectrum, Comcast, whatever. Whoever you're with and you have an iPhone, you can eSIM and test T-Mobile's network for 3 months free. And then I don't know why they added in the scorecard and the availability card. I don't know why they did that. At the end of the day, the consumer's not going to care about the score. What does that score even mean to them? They just want to know, does T-Mobile work in the same places that I go to, and is it cheaper? That's all they care about on the MNO side, right? That's all they care about. And then I was made aware of this last night. They brought back the rebates and they increased them from $800 to $1,000. So you get $200 per line, up to 5 lines on rebate. It's a Visa MasterCard. And that's of course, you're not going to get that instantly. You're going to get that over a certain period of time. T-Mobile was actually getting really good at this. If some of you used it before or have done it, where if you switched to T-Mobile and you took advantage of one of their moves where they paid off up to $650 of your devices with the carrier you were with, I remember doing it one time, and electronically gift cards that they sent out, they got that done. They got that process to about 15 days at one point. It was you switch, and then within a 15-day period, you get the money to pay off the devices with the carrier you're with. That's how quickly T-Mobile got that established. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the same time frame for this Visa rebate card. It could take a bit longer. Usually takes up to 6 to 8 weeks for most companies. But, T-Mobile may be trying to speed up that process as well. So that's what took place today in the announcement, right? The network test drive, that now is integrated into the T-Mobile app. So if you have an iPhone, make sure you update that in the App Store. And the rebate was increased from $800 back to $1,000. It used to be $1,000, but back to $1,000. Now, that is likely contingent upon you getting Magenta Max. So keep that in mind as you go through all of this info. The rebate for the $1,000, very strong possibility. I haven't checked on that part yet, but very strong possibility that you have to get Magenta Max to get that $1,000 rebate. So that's part that I wanted to update you guys on from the video this morning. Now I wanted to relax a little bit more and give you guys some clarity for the second part as to what's happening. So we all saw the videos, and it actually was officially announced today. The layoffs at T-Mobile are official. They are laying off the networking division, and I'm hearing other divisions are affected as well. So a lot of people are asking questions, right? T-Mobile is making these moves, right? We got the Starlink announcement, we got the Apple TV on Us announcement, now we get this announcement. It's like almost daily now we get something. And actually we got another move from T-Mobile that kind of went under the radar because of this. They are now paying for the advertisements of small business customers. That's something that they announced this morning as well. And I'll cover that in a separate video in more detail. But that's what they also announced this morning. So a lot of people are reaching out to me, even analysts, asking me, "Hey, is T-Mobile's quarter going bad, or is something wrong?" And I replied like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Why are they getting so aggressive? They're already competing very aggressively. They're growing very aggressively. Churn is down, and they're getting more aggressive." Right? Moves like this cost money. With that integrating that app, it costs money. Right? So they still have one thing that I replied, T-Mobile still has a perception gap that they got to close. This is going to help that, right? You no longer just have to do it by word of mouth. If you're a store rep, you no longer have to sit there and say, "Well, we've been working on our network, we've been investing capital, we've been getting better since 2015. Whatever." You can just tell them, "You don't believe me? Try our network with this new app," right? Network Pass. Try it out. 3 months. Go on vacation, travel, whatever you need to do. And then, come back and let us know if you want to switch, right? That can literally be done now. That's an option. It's an actual option embedded in the T-Mobile app. So that was the first option, or that was the first reply that I responded. And then the second one, I said T-Mobile just wants to grow. That's their whole MO, and they're looking to further accelerate the growth and take more share. That's what they're looking at. And shortly after I made that comment, I got another message saying that the reason the cuts are being made at T-Mobile are because of the pressure all this growth, this new growth, is putting on the OpEx. Right? Every time they grow more on fixed wireless access, they have to buy more routers. That's more money. And then every time they grow beyond what they're guiding, that's more money because that's customer acquisition cost. Right? And they compete very heavily on that too. So they're cutting back staff, and they're cutting other stuff too, I'm sure, that we don't know about, not to save money, but to further grow. Right? The OpEx is taking a lot of pressure because they're growing. See, a lot of companies cut because of loss. T-Mobile is cutting because of growth. So two different things, right? And I'm not trying to justify that these layoffs are good and that they needed to happen. No, I still think it's bad. They're a growing company. Take the hit on the OpEx. Those guys had lives, they had families. Take the hit on the OpEx, figure out something else, right? Did you really need to keep that second headquarters in Kansas City? Did you really need to keep that? You see where I'm going with that? So there's other cuts that they could make, right? There's other cuts that I think would have a bigger impact, in my opinion. But again, that's what T-Mobile's looking at. They want to grow, but that growth at the same time is putting a strain on the OpEx. So they're looking at other ways to further cut, right? So I think in the future, I mean, T-Mobile is getting leaner every time that they lay off, that they go through a round of layoffs of customers. I mean, of employees. They're looking to help out the growth. They want to keep growing. They don't want that to slow down because the market has it embedded in their minds, and this goes for the investors and the analysts, that T-Mobile is a growing company. And if they post just one quarter with like the slowest growth in the industry, their stock's going to take an immediate hit. I mean, instantly. Maybe even minus 20% for that day. And of course, I'm speculating, but I think that's what it would go to in terms of negative if they posted a slow growth quarter, because that whole company and everyone is centered around that being the growth story in the industry. So they're looking to further accelerate that 100%. That was confirmed to me that internally discussions were they got to cut and get leaner because they're taking pressure on the operation side. And that's why they're doing that, right? And of course, too, as well, they want to keep the CapEx elevated as high as they can because they're getting success now. They're scaling, they're getting more competitive. So now they want to do it. They want to really do it, right? They had what they internally call coverage strategy. It's a buzzword that they use internally. But that same coverage that they're building out now, they've had on a internal spreadsheet since 2017, 2018. It just never got funded until now. Now they're fully allocating funding towards these plans to build out the robust growth that they want to obtain, right? They want to natively match the footprint of Verizon and AT&T once and for all, not in the pops, but on the square miles. And that's going to take a lot of funding. It's going to take priority, and it's going to take a lot of focus. And that's why they're shifting away from the speed and they're prioritizing scale, because it benefits the overall business. So that's what I wanted to bring some clarity towards. That's the reason T-Mobile is acting the way they're acting. And we could see that happen further throughout the year. We have yet to hear what their iPhone promo is. So we'll see what they offer very soon. September 7th is the official Apple event. Shortly after, we should see all the carriers' promos roll in. I know one of the promos. I'm still waiting on the other two. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. Like I said, just wanted to bring some clarity, not making an excuse of why that layoff was justified. Just wanted to bring some clarity that the OpEx is taking some pressure with all this new growth that's coming in. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.